2 capital G here, more Lunalight duels for you guys to check out, showing you again what my girls can do. This time it's going to be a pure version of Lunalights, no danger or none of that other stuff splashed in here. I believe that not only Lunalights are going to become a competitive deck, I think that Double L's are going to be the best OTK deck in the game because they have just so many different combinations of pulling off OTKs, and I really don't think that most decks in Yu-Gi-Oh are equipped to handle it, whether it be double Leo Dancer or Leo Dancer plus Saber Dancer. Sometimes it can be Leo Dancer with Blue Cat's effect where Leo Dancer becomes 7,000. Other times it can be Boil Sword Dragon plus Leo Dancer. You know, that's a ton of damage. Two huge monsters that can attack twice. And I really think that Lunalights used to be able to OTK using about 5 cards, which meant you had to go second, and you know, maybe one card could be like a hand trap, or if you got desires it'd be okay, but other than that, like, everything had to go right. Now you need significantly less cards because with like Yellow Martin, you just get more value out of your cards. You can pull Blue Cat out from your deck with Serenade Dance, which makes that OTK way more consistent than it ever was before, and I feel like they're definitely on a good path. So in the first duel we got a cat fight in the literal sense, because we got Lunalights versus Lunalights, and this is a turn 1 board. Or this is one of the turn 1 boards that I think is fantastic, that Double L's can make, that a lot of decks in Yu-Gi-Oh are going to struggle with. So you got your Kaleido Chick that's going to add Polybat to the hand. Black Sheep is going to add the White Rabbit to the hand. White Rabbit's going to activate her Blizzard-like effect. The Scale is going to be bounced to Tiger so that you can use it again with Yellow Martin. I think White Rabbit is actually not bad. Going to go for Saber Dancer off the Poly, and then activates the Wolf effect. That's going to get you Leo Dancer for free by activating that Miracle Fusion like Pendulum effect. And this is a pretty good board, especially when you see that it's backed up with an impermanence. And keep this in mind, if the Apprentice Witchling does get destroyed, you can just pull back. Well, does he have anything in here? Okay, he has a Kaleido Chick in there. So yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, you can pull back a Kaleido Chick from your graveyard, put it back in your hand, and he can Pendulum Summon that, so he doesn't have to use his normal summon. And what's his, you know what, I'm not going to talk about his next draw. That's irrelevant, but just know that this is a very strong board. You have 2 monsters on field that are 4,000 plus attack and an impermanence to defend you. Unless you get evenly matched, you're in pretty good shape. Plus your other monster's a floater. Double L's can fight back against this type of board. I think that for the most part, you probably, because he can't target either one of the fusions, you probably want to go something like Boral Load or Boral Sword Dragon. The problem is he does have the impermanence. There is no replay there when he attacks into the Saber Dancer, and Saber Dancer is significantly stronger, and actually in the mirror match she's even stronger. I mean, 5,500 attack. What exactly are you going to do against that? That's why I say that these big boards, when you back them up with an impermanence, it's like, well, your opponent can't target these monsters, so a lot of times they're forced into going one of the Boral cards, and if you have impermanence, you basically can just shut that down. Next duel, I believe, is going to be this is the Gumblar Shenanigans duel, and this is it's a little bit of a luck-sacky duel, but hey, luck is part of Yu-Gi-Oh. You can see that heroes are going first. We all know what heroes can do under the current ban list because of Isode and because of Summon Sorceress and mainly Destiny Hero Malicious. He also has Soul Charge, so I would say at minimum probably 4 cards should get ripped out of the Lunalight player's hand. He already has Isode. He can go into Summon Sorceress. He has Soul Charge, so we know he's going to at least make 1 Gumblar minimum, and he's probably going to have Dark Law as well. So yeah, he's probably looking at getting 4 cards ripped out of his hand, but this is actually even worse because he's playing the Phantom Knights as well. This means that he's going to be able to back up that Gumblar hand rip with some copies of the Phantom Knights of not Breaksword, but the Phantom Knights of damn it, what's the name of that damn card? Fogblade. There we go. The Phantom Knights of Fogblade. So he rips not only 2 cards out of his hand, but then he's like, Cap G, check this out. Gonna go Mass Change. You know what that means? Mass Change means Dark Law. This means both of these Black Sheep are gone. He's gonna banish both of them. But again, this is why we have Pendulum effects and why we have Pendulum Scales. He activates the effect of Wolf. This is your Miracle Fusion built into a Pendulum Scale. He did not actually banish the Kaleido. He should have banished. Yeah, Kaleido Chick should be getting banished, and her effect should be activating. There she is. And now this is again why I believe that you should run 1 copy of Saber Dancer, because if not Saber Dancer, he would have had to go into like Cat Dancer, and that wouldn't have done anything. But Saber Dancer is 4,000 attack, and this means, guess what? Well, he can also activate the effect of Kaleido Chick, which locks out any battle phase tricks. I guess in case his opponent had I don't know, Honesty Neos, that's like the only thing that I could possibly think of. But he's gonna run over the Dark Law, which means at least his graveyard's intact, and this is a shame because this player is actually going to struggle to get rid of a 4,000 attack Saber Dancer. He goes into the Phantom Knights a break sword. This means that Bardika is going to activate. It's going to say, hey, we're going to pop a card on your side of the field. So he does lose his Lunalight Wolf. And I believe that, yeah, he activates the copy of Gumblar Dragon, which is, that's mandatory. So that kind of sucks. But the problem is this chick can't be targeted. That targeting protection is relevant here because he cannot use the effect of Break Sword. And the thing is, I guess a pure PK build would, no, that's trolling too. I was thinking maybe he could attack with Break Sword, then go for Dark Rebellion Exceed Dragon, but Dark Rebellion Exceed Dragon can't target it either. He actually just can't out her, even though it's the only card he has. He Ash Blossoms the Rhoda, which was the right play. I mean, your Ash Blossom, why not use it? There's a chance that he might end up using Gumblar again. You might lose it from your hand for free, so might as well just go ahead and activate it. And this dude literally just could not out the one copy of Saber Dancer, and Saber Dancer beat his entire deck. I don't think that there's any way to like put it in another context. Like Saber Dancer beat his entire deck, and he was sitting on 2 copies of Fogblade, but again, she can't be targeted, so those cards were absolutely dead. One card just beats an entire Gumblar rip for 4, man. That's the power of Lunalight. So this is what the deck looks like on paper, and for the most part, it's pretty much what I would expect. I would argue that Emerald Bird is maybe like a one of. I'm not sure that you actually have to run like 2 copies, but I think 2 copies is perfectly fine. He is running 2 copies of Polymerization, obviously because it is searchable from Black Sheep, and then if you do fuse with your Kaleido chick, or if she's sent to the graveyard by a card effect, which can be something like Yellow Martin, or it can also be Serenade Dance, which is in here, you can actually recover your Polymerization, so never leave home without Polymerization. I don't know if 1 or 2 copies is the right ratio. I think that that's kind of up to the player, but in Lunalights right now, I would say that a lot of your main deck space is kind of taken up because there are cards in the archetype like Kaleido Chick, Black Sheep, Yellow Martin, Tiger. Like, these are all cards that you just pretty much have to run 3 of. Tiger before I thought was a 3 of, but you could get away with probably like 2 copies. But now the interaction between Yellow Martin and Tiger, the fact that Tiger's a monster reborn, then you just activate Yellow Martin from your graveyard, and then you put Tiger back in your hand, activate it again. Now Tiger is just a 100% bona fide 3 of. Even if you don't draw some of your fusion cards like Double L Fusion or Polymerization, you of course can fall back on your Miracle Fusion built into a Pendulum Scale, your Lunalight Wolf, and then other cards in here like Tinky and Lunalight Perfume. Like, these are always going to be 3-ofs. Tinky can get everything in the entire deck except Lunalight Wolf, and Perfume is an actual Monster Reborn with no restrictions. Unlike some of the other Monster Reborns like Tiger and stuff, they have restrictions where the monster can't activate its effect. Blue Cat is still in the deck, and it's a 1-of. You don't really use Blue Cat as you used to. Like, you're not really going to be setting this card on the field anymore. Mainly, you're either just going to Pendulum Summon with it and then, try to pump up like your Panther Dancer or Saber Dancer, try to crank their attacks up to like maximum. This chick will become 6,000 attack and this one will become 7k. Or you can just use this as probably the main way that I would use it is off of Serenade Dance. I mean, she's on the card Serenade Dance. So Konami's clearly trying to tell you, hey, summon Blue Cat from your deck, double the attack of one of your Double L Fusion monsters, and then just win. And then the other things are standard. Like, I would personally not play Lunalights if I wasn't playing Ash Blossom and Impermanence. Just a couple of go second cards, and even when he was going first, you saw the board with Leo Dancer plus Saber Dancer. Like, the Impermanence just saved that entire board. It makes it so difficult when when you have those 2 monsters that are like 4,000 attack, your opponent can't target them, and then you have the Impermanence for the 1 card that they have to potentially out it. So Impermanence and Ash Blossom I feel like are pretty good, although I have seen some people play Droll and Lockbird instead of Ash Blossom, but I would definitely like not leave home without Impermanence. And Call by the Grave, just another card to like push your hand traps through and whatnot. So I think that most of the Double L deck is pretty standard. If you're running a pure build, it's going to look something like this. Some of the ratios might be off just a little bit, depending on your player preference. Oh, one last thing is he is running Exiton Knight in here. I do believe that your best play going first is probably 41, but another valid option, because the entire deck for for outside of the Pendulum Scales is dark is Evil Swarm Nightmare. Evil Swarm Nightmare is effective against certain decks out there that maybe number 41 might not be. It puts the monsters in a face down defense position, I believe. Yeah, but unfortunately, man, it's just, I hate these monsters are so good, but they just like, they're so just not really good against links. But this is another good card that you can use instead of 41. But I think Exciton Knight is also pretty good.